Bertrand Russell sold American youth on acid rock in Yale University. They financed exclusive members into political power positions in the U.S. Supreme Court, the White House, which is the biggest whorehouse in the country, and the CIA, where George Bush became the CIA director. Heroin was smuggled into America inside the body bags of dead American soldiers. By the end of the 1960s, 1/3 of U.S. soldiers in Vietnam and close to 1 million Americans were hooked on heroin. In the 1960s, the CFR had a month-long meeting, and the topic was which country should create the future global culture.
In CFR, I'm sure you could, take those initials and figure it out for yourself. CFR. Think about it.
They decided that Hollywood would basically create the culture for the world, backed up by the musical industry. The cabal wanted to turn the youth of America onto all these drugs, including LSD and hashish, celebrity.
You see what I'm showing you?
Anti-war activists like Aldous Huxley, Timothy Leary, and Bertrand Russell sold American youth on acid rock. Their financing came from the Warburg Banksters and IPS, Institute for Policy Studies. Over 100 million dosages of LSD that hit the streets of America were purchased by Timothy Leary and Alan Dulles through the Sandoz Pharmaceutical Company in none other than Switzerland. Switzerland, the country designated as neutral by the royal elite families, the place where they stash their bullion and cash in vaults underneath Zurich Airport's runway. Chemist Dr. Albert Hofmann was hard at work, responsible for synthesizing and isolating the alkaloids of ergot fungus. He eventually managed to manufacture lysergic acid diethylamide.
So, what's in Switzerland, you may ask?
Which became known as LSD. Critics of the drug cultures blamed parents, teachers, law enforcement, and just about everybody except the people who were really behind it all. Namely, the Rothschilds, the Warburg Banksters, and the Committee of 300. The Tavistock and the Frankfurt Institute, where Theodor Adorno, who is a master at music, understood the complete science and psychology of music that influenced the teenagers and their parents at that time. Music is built on repetition. Repetition is the ideal tool for instilling and implanting subliminal hypnotic suggestion.
Everything in this world you will realize one day or not when you watch your TV, when you look at your phone. If you look beyond the people you're watching into the background, you will see so many subliminal messages. And these subliminal suggestions and messages are there to manipulate you and your thoughts. And as far as music goes, they know that the universe operates on frequency and harmonics and music. So always remember, if you struggle with drug addiction, it's not your fault. Okay? It's not your fault. It's not your fault. So stop blaming yourself. Stop beating yourself up.
Repetition, coupled with a state of paranoia, leads to an altered state of consciousness and an illusion-based reality. Theodore Adorno owned the musical rights of the Beatles up until he died. He also taught other musicians these secrets that later became their celebrity salesmen to addict and enslave billions of people worldwide with dependencies on both prescription and non-prescription legal and illegal drugs, which includes alcohol, nicotine, caffeine, Prozac, crack cocaine, and heroin. According to Dr. John Coleman, who wrote the story of the Committee of 300, the Beatles rock group was brought to America by the Tavistock Institute. There were people behind the scenes writing the Beatles material, at least when the four were still together. That's right, it's a big secret within the music industry up to this day that there is a big production team behind a lot of these so-called musicians. It's all big business. Everything commercial is staged, but money is not the prime motivation. Its real motives are controlling people's minds and destroying ethics and the moral destruction of the families. At the same time...
So what do you think? What do you think social media is doing? What do you think these phones are doing? Okay? So what do you think... Man. Problem is there's so much damage done. So much damage has been done. So the truth of the matter with John Kennedy, who you just saw, and Adolf Hitler, both of them had drug problems, okay? Both of them, you know. Every man has a struggle. Every man has his struggles. Okay, we're all not perfect. And the second you realize there's really no way out of this, you know, it will disturb you and it will make you, you know, turn to things. Like Pac said, I'm getting high because the world's getting colder. Okay.
Out came the abortion clinics. They had the pill for women as well. It came out the same time. They also had venereal disease clinics sprouted up for free.
So what do you think Fauci's guilty of?
This is nothing new. Beethoven was also financed to do experimentations in theaters with certain types of
Yeah, it's just like I was watching something with on the UAP channel with Lincoln, okay? The whole thing was fucking made up. It was all bullshit. It was all bullshit, okay? All of it. The way it was set up, just like Ford's Theater and everything like that. Oh yeah, John Wilkes Booth shot him. And then he went on, I have a secret. It's outrageously insane. Okay? And the truth of this world will disturb you. So you could watch, you could figure it out. I'm just here laying trails. Planting seeds.